Yo, what's going on everybody, it is Godly Tech here. In today's video we're basically going to be doing a setup wars or setup mayhem. It's basically similar to setup wars and I got the idea from there. So yeah, we're basically going to be doing something a bit similar to that today. I hope you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and tell your friends. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into the video and tell you guys about all the amazing setups that we had submitted. You can also submit your setup down below. Check the Discord link in the description. You can send your setup in the Discord and have a chance of getting it featured. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. So the first setup we have sent in by Fibly, which is a dual monitor setup. Pretty cool looking setup, very solid. Lots of RGB lamp in the back with the keyboard, mouse, and the mic. But overall, I think you should just set the RGBs to red, but overall the setup looks pretty nice. So for the specs of the monitors, they're AOC 24-inch 144Hz monitors, which are pretty great for gaming. For the keyboard, there's a HyperX Alloy Elite and the G502 Lightspeed Wireless for the mouse. And HyperX Cloud Core headset is going to be the headset he's rocking with the going along with the HyperX mic. But overall, the setup looks pretty cool. It's just probably the cable management and I don't know, man. I just probably changed the RGBs to red to match the mic, but overall it looks really nice, really clean looking setup. I just changed the RGBs. So going on to the PC, we have a i7-907K, Hyper 212 Evo for the cooling fan, and a Asus Prime Z370 motherboard with 16 gigs of RAM, 3TB hard drive, 480 GB SSD. Of course, you gotta have an SSD, an RTX 2078 GB, and a Thermaltake A500 ATX mid tower case. Overall, it's a pretty solid PC build. The cable management looks really nice, and I got no complaints to go with it. It's just a nice looking solid PC build. Really, I just add a bit more RGB, to be honest. The only thing that's RGB in this case is the RAM sticks. You should have went for the I know there's a version of the Hyper 212 Evo that is RGB, and that would have been really nice to go for if you went for that. But overall, it's a pretty solid PC build, and yeah, it should last a while. It's super upgradable, and there's nothing really else to say about the PC. And now on to the probably the worst part about this setup, the cable management. Honestly, if you were to fix the cable management in the setup and take the time to like route it under your desk or get a cable rack or something like that, I feel like it'd be a lot nicer. But you know, that's just me. But you know, it really just depends on who the person is. Some people manage their cables, some people don't. I manage mine with just zip ties and stuff, routing some of my cables together. But overall, it's just, that's probably the only thing that needs work on this setup. But it's overall just a really nice setup to look at, very pleasing to the eyes. And yeah, on to the next setup. So coming into the next setup, we have this amazing setup with two 24-inch curved monitors from Scepter, Red Dragon key for the keyboard, and a Logitech G502 for the mouse, and a Corsair mousepad. Overall, this looks sick. Great looking setup, and he's apparently getting a third monitor soon, and third monitors all curved. That just looks so amazing. So also the headset is a Void Pro wireless and a Blue Snowball for the audio or mic, which is honestly a great choice for budget mics, and honestly I can't really complain about it. It's a great budget mic, a great budget USB mic for those who don't want to set up a audio mixer, and it's just great to have. And overall, my only critique about the setup would probably be the power brick on the desk, but nothing else really from what I'm seeing here. There's probably the power brick. That's like the only thing I can really complain about. I'd probably also add an LED strip in the back of the desk just because, you know, RGB is great. So anyways, onto the PC. He has a Ryzen 5 3600 with a RTX 2060, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 750 watt power supply with a 4TB hard drive and 500 GB SSD for storage. Overall, it looks like a really solid build. It should be able to handle most games at high settings, even streaming if you really wanted to. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good setup for gaming, streaming. I wouldn't really have any complaints to go with this PC. It's a nice looking PC, a cool build, and overall I really got no complaints about the setup. I mean, yeah, the desk might be a bit messy, but let's be honest, everyone keeps their desk messy. That's just a sign that you actually, you know, game and use your desk. But yeah, it's just a pretty solid build. You can see the 2 controllers, a PS4 in the back, because why not have it there, you know? Just in case you just want to switch from your PC to play some type of PS4 game. And the desk is a, I believe it's a custom made desk. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah. And he has an IKEA Signum rack for the cable management, which you can see behind the monitors. He also has them behind the monitors, like the cables are routed around the monitor handle, stand, whatever you want to call it. But overall, it's pretty nice looking setup. Can't wait for that 3rd monitor to come in. It's gonna look amazing. I don't know why your monitors are that high though. That's kind of weird, but that's just me, I guess. So yeah, on to the next setup. So for the next setup, we have Joe's insane setup filled with a lot of personality in terms of what he likes, which is a lot of football. So we have a lot of stuff on the right of his desk and a giant football helmet behind his monitors and a lot of RGB, man, which I gotta just say, nice. So RGB, there's a lot of RGB and LED strip lighting the ceiling and one behind his desk with some nano leaf panels to the right of the wall. For the PC, he has an i7 700K, a GTX 1660 Ti, and 8 gigs of RAM. For the peripherals, he has a Corsair K68 with some Logitech speakers down there, and he didn't actually list the mouse, but I'm assuming that is also Corsair. So going into this setup, my only critiques, I really have none. I can't really name any huge critiques about this setup. Besides, I'd probably update from 8 gigs of RAM, but overall it's a nice looking setup. The cable management is flawless. As you can see in the other picture there was only one cable. He's using a Signum rack for the cables, which I gotta say just looks amazing. I gotta say, I also love these stack monitors formation like this. They look really nice when monitors are done like that, and they look when they're done like that properly. So anyways guys, let's get into the next setup. So for the next setup, we have a setup sent in by a friend of mine on Discord named John. Cool looking setup here, a Ducky 1-2 Mini and a Monroe for the mouse and keyboard. Same ones I have actually. Sick peripherals to have, and honestly full of RGB and great for gaming. So for the main monitor, he has a AOC 144Hz monitor and a ASUS 60Hz monitor for his secondary monitor with some nice looking bezels. A blue snowball for the mic. It is a white blue snowball actually, which is kind of interesting. There's a lot of blue, like black and white going on here for a setup. I'd probably switch the mouse pad to like black because the mouse pad seems pretty dirty as it's when it's white. But yeah, overall it's a nice looking setup. Some cool RGB on the peripherals, but not really that much RGB in terms of like LED strips or anything like this. Pretty simple, but it also looks sick. For the PC, is an i8-400, a Beast 360M gaming motherboard, and a GTX 1060 GB with a 1TB hard drive and a 500 watt power supply. I'm pretty sure this is a pre-built PC, but overall it's still a nice PC. Should be able to handle most modern day games. I'd probably put them mostly at medium settings. I wouldn't run them at high though, because the 1060 is a good card, but I would not run like most games at ultra high settings with that card. But overall it's a solid build and should be last you for gaming. Now on the cable management. Cable management here, it's not too bad, but cables are mostly just hanging out on the floor and everything, which I can see because he does not have a desk mounted against the wall. But most people don't. It really depends on people who mount their desk against the wall. I'd probably use some zip ties or something like that to just organize the cables together and run them down the behind of your desk, and probably just, I don't know, somewhere behind the PC or something like that. But overall, it's a pretty solid setup. I'd probably give it a solid 7 out of 10. And yeah, on to the next and final setup. So for the final setup, we have Biker of Belgium's insane 3-monitor setup here. Lots of RGB, lots of personality, so let's go ahead and get into the setup. First, he has the 3 27-inch curved monitors, which I gotta say look really nice. And he has all Razer peripherals actually, minus the mic. He has a Razer Black Widow V2 Chroma keyboard, a Razer Firefly mousepad, and a Razer Mamba for the mouse. And for the headset, he also has a Razer Kraken, man. I've never said Razer so much in my life. That's a lot of Razer products. I like the lighting he did for the middle of the keyboard to kind of match his chair there. He has the gold and red RGB lighting set for his mouse and keyboard, which looks really nice. Also a Stream Deck under his other monitor there to the right, which you can see, and a Logitech C922 webcam there. It's also a limited edition chair from Secret Lab. Overall, I gotta say this setup has a lot of RGB and personality, especially getting into the PC here with a i7 907K, a MSI Z380 gaming motherboard, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and a Cooler Master AIO, with the graphics card being a 2070 by MSI. Lots of RGB here. I mean, everything in this PC is basically RGB, and the case is a Corsair 570 black. So I gotta say, the amount of RGB in this PC is insane. Lots of RGB, and the performance does not lack either, and it should be enough to run this beast of a setup. Should be able to handle most games at high quality or even ultra for most modern day titles, and it's a beast and a really aesthetically pleasing PC to just have on the right side of the desk. This is a PC you just can't put under your desk. Now we have a front view of the setup here, just the overall view of the setup. It looks really nice. There's the PC on the side there with the 3 monitors and the mic stand on the left of the setup. And as you can see, the cable management looks flawless for the amount of stuff that he has going on here. And I gotta say, this setup just looks amazing. Lots of personality, lots of RGB, even some light strips behind the desk. And I honestly gotta say, just GG's on this setup, man. It's great, looks incredible, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future for this setup. I honestly don't know what you can improve. It's already so amazing. So anyways, guys, you can go vote in the comment section for the setup you thought was the best. Also, go join our Discord and follow us on Instagram. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the video. See you guys in the next video. Peace.